And we're live.
The
intro?
Yeah.
Oh, what's the intro? Catch and Catch, episode 3.
Yeah.
My name is Trae. He's talking about pressure and then just boom, put me right on the spot. It's like, what do I say? You know, just
As stated by the great Mr. Trae, welcome back to another episode. We are on Sketch Catch episode 3. I don't have the art piece from last episode. I still got to finish it. I've been kind of body-headed, but I'm gonna get there.
Ain't wrong with it.
Let's see. So, as you may see, the topic today is the pressure of turning hobby into a career. We both realize that we're kind of intertwined in our lives, kind of live similar issues and successes. So we just kind of found it that we're both in kind of a spot where we're kind of,
Tired.
Tired, rather retire. So we just kind of wanted to see, kind of share where we're at as far as what we want to do, if what we love to do is meant to be a career for us or at a hobby level. We're gonna draw a pair today.
I'm gonna draw a parrot.
Oh, parrot. Okay.
Yes, I'm gonna draw a parrot. I don't know why it's like kind of in my head right now, and the lines are. Yeah, my idea.
Parrot.
I'm gonna draw a parrot.
Hey, that's what's up. Can't wait to see it.
Cockatoo.
Oh, cockatoo.
Then I put my pencils together like this on my pad, so it kind of reminded me of like the beak and thread of the screw.
Oh, that's cool.
I might do some. I have a chapstick.
And when it stops rolling on you?
Lip. Huh?
When you know when it stops rolling on you?
Yeah. Wait, rolling.
When you go to twist it and it don't go up no more.
Oh. That is a struggle. But I mean, I don't keep.
It's one of those things where like chapstick is like a gift and a curse because
chapstick, never seen it.
You could lose it and be like, where did I put that thing? And it's just gone forever. Or you get to the point where you either pull the cap off too hard and you create that vacuum.
Yep.
Or you just corkscrew it so much.
Yeah, hey,
trips.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I done got it soft and kind of just pressed it back down. It was nasty, so I scraped that top layer off. Man, if I need my chapstick, I need my chapstick. It's not, but I don't share those.
You know what I hate seeing is when people go to like use their finger on the chapstick to rub it on their lip.
Look, man. Look. If I ever let you use my chapstick and you rub your finger on it, I don't care if your lip is just, I don't know where your mouth been either, but don't you put your hand. That's like telling me to shh. You know what I mean? That's like put my finger right there. Do not do that.
Like, I don't know why that's the most, like, one of the most disgusting things somebody can do is, hey, you got some chapstick?
Well, that's why I didn't never like getting the little jar of Carmex. Even when Carmex is so nasty.
Because you look at it.
And the girl come through. And then, like, somebody over in the corner pull out the
dug in it like that.
Like, ugh. Take my bliss sticks, and then I get chapstick. I get a lot of food and chapstick or like stuff like that nobody else is unique. And I'm like, ugh. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
I would always use it in secret. You got to treat it like gum in school. You got to do it in secret because somebody's like, yo, can I get some?
I didn't hear his rapper from Crunch.
You got to fake a sneeze to put it to your lips.
Well, kids are so we was wild. I remember it was a time period in middle school where like if you had to get up, you would like cough on your food so nobody would touch it while it was going.
Oh yeah, cough or fake sneeze.
Yeah, it's like we was doing the most.
Or when you wanted to call dibs on food, you lick it.
I didn't do.
I ain't either, but
I heard kids like you talking about like if you stand in line like at the kitchen and doing and you lick it or like
No. Like,
oh
well, okay. So, say you're in line, you go to grab something. Someone's like, "That's mine," and you go to lick it. Nope, mine now. Or like you said, when you're about to get up, you like, "Don't touch my food." You know what?
yeah
Now you
yeah
can.
like some brother sister type stuff on the
Mm-hmm.
last Cinnabon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Get that one smart sibling. We have the same DNA. Gotta go the extra mile and spit on it.
All right, now DNA this. I got it in my DNA right now.
I got mommy and got daddy all inside my DNA. Me too.
But yeah, no, wow. Talk about chapstick. Damn.
Yeah. We just go on these tangents. All right, so before we had started recording, you were telling me about you wanted to
Yeah, I was going in.
retire. That's okay
yeah.
for me to say.
Yeah, it's okay to say I haven't officially. I mean, well, that's another thing. Is the big pressure is like I'm not even about to officially announce it. I feel like every time I get on social media and say anything, whether it be as an artist or as a just a regular person, it's just like it's like I'm on a soapbox with a
So
megaphone.
sorry.
No, you're fine. And screaming at one person in the crowd, and he's saying, "Nobody cares." And it's just like from there, I'm just like, "You're right." And it's not a sympathy thing. It's just more so me. It's like this is not where I want my focus to be. You know what I mean? Like my focus is not supposed to be in validation or having to feel like I'm announcing things to people who truly don't care.
Yeah.
I don't want them to care. I don't expect them to care because there's a million other things in the world to care about. You know what I mean? Go ahead and find something to do. But no, I mean, I don't know. It's if that's the way I feel about it, there should be no reason why I continue to try without trying something else first. I can go back, but there is a thing called burnout. There's a thing called overdoing it, man.
Yeah.
And I've been at this point for 9 years. And I'm tired. I've done everything that I said I was doing my 9 at this point. It didn't happen the way I wanted to, and it's not exactly the same. But I would be ungrateful if I said that I failed.
Yeah.
You know. So, but yeah, it's just not important right now. It's not important. If it was important, then it would like right now money would be more of a thing, but it's not important. Because money is so much of a thing, I have to worry about getting it in another way. Still want to apply my strengths to whatever because I'm always going to be creative. Like I'm not. I'm not here for the social media thing. No more.
Oh, and that was another thing that we had pointed out too. Is like we were kind of juggling on what the topic would be today, which we came to this point, but it all leads up. Everything that we were talking about leads up to the chosen topic. But one subject in the topic was the pressure of being social media successful. Because nowadays, whenever you want to get yourself out there, you want to make a name for yourself, you try to present yourself in the eyes of social media, therefore you can get someone else's attention because that's where everyone seems to be. Um, and there's a pressure to be like, okay, so I need to. Like with me, I do the same thing. Like I was in the same situation as you're feeling now. Like I wanted to kind of tap out because like you don't see the numbers that you see everyone else is getting, but you don't actually take into effect like how much they put in, like what they did or didn't do,
how much they made themselves available to,
and how much they learned from it. But like just to sit there with that mindset of like, oh, I think I for me it was I think I'm not doing a whole lot that people need, and then you start seeing people one by one. Like to all the people who have interacted on no matter what I'm doing, whether it's BabSap, whether it's Sketch and Catch, where it's me gaming, I've gotten some kind of interaction to let me know that somebody's paying attention. So that keeps me going. I had to change wiring of my mind to say, hey, I find it important right where I'm at now to keep going. I feel like there's a lot that I could say that'll help someone's day. There's a lot that I could show. There's a lot that I can do, and I've actually got to a point where I like doing this. So I'm trying to combat the fact that, like, just because I don't get a lot of people seeing it now, that shouldn't stop me from what I like and enjoy. But I haven't been doing this for years. What I have been doing was trying to cement myself musically with DJing and with making music, and
talk about it.
so yeah. So I guess I was in your position, like I had said before. I was burnt out on pressuring myself to keep going or even start. That's because all the stuff that I had going on, stuff that I put myself through, stuff that was,
there's a lot to put yourself through.
Yeah,
especially on my end.
Stuff was hard to deal with, and I was at the point where I was also saying it's not important. I think creating an importance about it was where the stress was coming from. Instead of just enjoying it and doing it when I felt I could or should, I put an importance on it, and I was like, oh, I have to do this. Like I was doing what work did to me, and I had to pull that mentality out of myself because I was creating these deadlines, these imaginary deadlines, and then I would stress myself out and get to the point to where I just never did it. I never started, and then I beat myself up even more because I didn't do it. Like everything that work did, I did to myself. Everything that a manager would do, a bad manager. Like I wasn't able to talk myself through it. I just kind of shut down. And yeah, it would just be a continuous loop of like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week, I'll do it next month. The next month would come, I'd restart the process. The next year would come, I'd restart the process. And I just got to a point where I'm like, dang, I'm really not gonna do it. And it would suck because I put myself in a depressive state of like, I'm a failure. I'm never gonna do it. Like, but then I'd have this talk with myself, like, you got to put in the effort. You got to be able to do the work. It's the journey. It's not the destination type of conversation. I'd be like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And I'd be like, tomorrow. So it was just a loop.
You should never call yourself a failure.
Right.
At this point, I can't fail. I mean, have I not hit the things that I wanted to do? In a way, like in the back of your head, you always have that big dream about, hey, but at the same time, for one, you're human. Two, Wichita is hard to grow out of. It's easy to grow in here. It's easy to grow up here. It's hard to grow out of Wichita.
Yeah.
You only hear about a few people like in an industry like that. You know what I mean? People move out of here all the time. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But how many people have you heard from Wichita that really made it doing a few of these things? Far and few, right? In comparison to other places.
I want to say one of the biggest streamers out there, I want to say, I'm not sure. I thought at least she's from Kansas, but I thought I heard that she's from Wichita. Amy Rue,
I haven't heard of her.
She's a little Asian chick.
But I mean, okay, let me narrow that
but
down
I get
to,
what
like,
yeah.
Hip hop, music writing, DJing. There are some good DJs that came out of here, and then also you have to speak on what realm, just kind of where at. But it's not been the easy place to pick up. Like, you go to Atlanta and say, I got an idea. 50 people that want to give you, you know what I mean? If you go to LA, you can at least go. Everybody was on that dream, and you find 5 people writing a script. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wichita don't have a lot of that to where there's a connect to get from Wichita to somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's thing dries out when it comes to scripts. You know what I mean? I can go for days on that, but that's one of the things. Is like, what have I been trying? I've asked myself, what have I been trying to really capture? Where have I been trying to go? My big thing was I wanted to go and work for Sony Entertainment Group.
Sony.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I wanted to go work, do visual effects there. That's my dream job. Right?
Okay, Mister gonna be making the next Spider-Man movie.
Well, that's actually the movie that it's the bad Spider-Man. Spider-Man 3, the one that nobody talks about, is the one that inspired me to do visual effects. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
And they were crappy, but it was just like it was a really good idea of. It was a really good idea of what I wanted to do. And so that was one of the things I told my instructors in school. It was like I saw, things like Kung Fu Panda also.
Okay.
Sony did both of those movies, so I was like, I want to go work for Sony.
Wait, Kung Fu Panda's not a DreamWorks production?
Sony did some of the. Ooh, you're right.
I'm confused about how many, because like no, you're probably right, but
because I gotta double check because I'm almost sure.
Well, the thing is that whenever there's a movie like that, like there's always more than one production, and like they'll put their names in there, so you're probably right. I think I'm getting things confused.
But yeah, like DreamWorks could have put in Sony, but I'm not seeing in there. But either way,
I think it's probably that DreamWorks produced it. It was just Sony that did the visual effects. That's probably what it was.
I don't know. Either way, Kung Fu Panda was another one. I was just like, I want to do visual effects.
Yeah.
And so that was the thing, and I was like, but who do you know out of Wichita to say, you know what? This is your pipeline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not a lot of people that can. Well, if they are, I'm not going to say that it's gate-kept or anything like that. It's just, you're going to have to know these people. You know what I mean? And in Wichita, it's hard to get to know people because we're all in our little respected areas. You know what I mean? It's kind of pretty well sectioned off for as small as it is.
And that's why people, they migrate from here to California. They go here to Texas. They go here to other places. Actually,
I wish I would have moved.
My cousin, he was an artist, and he moved to Arizona to pursue his career. And he actually, like, he had his little art style that he would do. Like, he had his own characters and everything. Like, he went to go, be more in Arizona. I tried to go do things in Texas and realized that school was just a scam and decided not to go to school. And, and then I was like, well, what I want to do, I don't need. But I get it, and that's why my biggest dream is to house a headquarters for the Midwest, that people don't have to go to the coast. People don't have to go hours away, miles away to reach their dream. Like, I want to be able to give that to them here at home for music of all genres, and then we'll dive into art. We'll dive into giving classes for instruments, DJing, and all that such. Like, I want it to be like a big name in the Midwest because you got the coast who have their record labels and their places like that, but I want the Midwest to have one too. If we don't already have one, I'm not sure. I haven't really done the research, but what I'm thinking, I'm like, we don't. I haven't heard one.
Yeah, that's the thing, is picking up on who has it, and I wish I would have moved. And I had a cousin that moved from Oklahoma, and he went to the Art Institute in LA. And he graduated, I think, college the year I graduated high school.
Okay.
And he's had a couple jobs here and there, but he's just now getting a stable job as a graphic artist. You know what I mean? So that pipeline is hard, being in California, and you know what I mean, with the hub of where a lot of that stuff is, and you can't, break through there as he one of my many senseis, but tenfold much better. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He's an incredible. And also, you said your friend, was it your cousin?
Yeah.
Your cousin. He had characters designed and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
I don't put in the time to say that, to even have. I don't have it. You know what I mean? I don't have that kind of a story as an artist. If I ever said that I wanted to go be a character developer or this, that, and the third, I don't have nothing to stand on to say that I really wanted to do it, other than a great desire and a lot of, want to be commissioned things. So it's like, I had this revelation, and I was like, I can't really get a job as an artist.
Yeah.
I love to do it, but
so that right there, I think that's where we start with understanding what the actual issue is. You want a career based in visual effects, but your hobby, for where our standpoint is right now, your hobby is being able to do art, draw, paint, right? So I think if you're looking into basing your career in visual effects, you'd have to put prominent effort into doing that. But to retain your interest in art, sketching like small ideas, keep painting the big ideas. I'm not sure if you're the type of person to like carry around a little book with like a pencil and an eraser, like a small one.
I carry around a big bag so I can carry a big.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't even use it.
See, that's
as of lately, especially not.
right.
I did for a while, but
What do you think might have put you in this place that you're in, and how long do you think you've been in it?
my whole life.
Okay. So let's start there, because I can actually confide in that. So, what do you and you know if we're going too deep, just say
It's cool. It's cool.
What do you think? And you may have already told me this, but like, what do you think in the part of your life that really hit you that was just like it left you kind of invulnerable, and just lost without the purpose of continuing what you love to do?
Before I state this, I'm not gonna go blaming my parents for anything. I've stated probably on the last 2 episodes how grateful I am for them. But I was trained to to get a job, to this that, that's what I do. And there's not too much deviating from going and following the dream the way that I was raised. And I've been battling that, from doing it to trying to have a decent career and make my parents proud and all this other kind of stuff, to really diving into and giving 100% of what I really wanted to do. There's so many moments where I could have quit my job and dipped out somewhere and made 100 characters because I had the time to do it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really I didn't ever really have the personality to live without money.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was going to work, and of course it was a bunch of partying. Between work and partying, no, I didn't squeeze in the correct time to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I didn't realize that until I actually, like, these past couple of weeks. But I didn't put in.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you think that partying was a means of coping, like a temporary coping mechanism with what you were dealing with internally? So now that you're not partying anymore, you're faced with the reality of what actually, like, time was passed. So I was in the same boat, like down to the T. I would do a lot of drinking, and I started getting into small drugs, and I did anything to feel something, because I think I walked through most of my life. Well, I wouldn't say most, but part of the last maybe 7-8 years, I kind of went through just kind of feeling like kind of empty, and just trying to fill the void with whatever can. So like, getting into comedy more, trying to find the laughs, video games, just trying to find the entertainment. And then what?
Miles Morales.
Okay.
I
and
just
then,
popped it in last night.
Of course, being inebriated to like being able to feel the emotion artificially. But like I said, everything was temporary, so you have to keep doing it, and then you finally get to a point where you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And that takes a toll on you, but that growth, it's just kind of like a budding flower, because like you have to understand the root has to start somewhere, then it has to push up through that dirt, go through all the weathering in order to become a full blossom. That's where we're at in our life. You take wherever you feel is appropriate.
Oh,
okay.
I want you to look at it.
Okay. You apply it to yourself in that sense, but think of it like a tree. Like a tree will be fully grown, and it goes through the weathers of wherever it's placed at. It even get cut down, but it's always something else.
Even the stump be there for forever.
Yeah.
I'm like a stump.
I think to be able to find to fully access that point in your life where you're like coming out of limbo and you're aware of everything.
It's the awareness.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. You're good, because you're right. The awareness is kind of scary, because you start looking back and you're like, what? All this time, like our last episode, time is a construct. You can't really apply yourself to time because it's whenever you're available, whenever you can. But as people who are like us, and we have a lot of responsibilities to take on with our own selves, with our family, with the family we created, where's the time? We have to make it, and you have to be firm about it. So when it comes to right, so when it comes to having kids, obviously they take priority, because like as long as like, and the older they get, the easier. So like if they're able to run around, do their own thing, as long as you can put, like we said last time, poke your head out. You know, like,
I did that to the dog.
You good?
You did. I went to pick my bag up from Ash's house, and I was looking for the dog as the cage was open. I was like, oh, that dog's somewhere posted comfortable. And I looked in that room. And he just looked at it. It's a little chewy. I get that dog kill, but yeah, man, like when you can actually do that, you gotta kind of rely on your resilience and say, I put this aside for about 5 years.
Yeah, it's my time.
It's my time.
That's what you have to tell yourself. Exactly. It's my time. So look, I had to tell myself the same thing, and I had to make sure everyone knew it's my time. Can you
tell them? Huh?
Like if someone comes, can you? No.
Nope.
I can't do that today.
Yo, let me give you a reference of how wild it is. I felt bad. My sister, really good. She's really good about. Hey, can you? It's
always the sisters.
Man, look, as
family,
a little
not
brother,
like a generalization.
Yeah,
not sisters, but sisters.
A, not an ER.
No, ER, not an A.
Hard R. We did that joke before too. It's never getting old. But I always try to, even though like when she gets mad because I say no, like she's well, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I'm not down on my sister. She ain't gonna see this anyway.
No, that's just how it is. Sisters are spoiled.
Yeah. And I spoil her, you know. Hey, can you do this for me? Can you do it? Yeah, I got you. Okay, whatever. Yeah, I got you. Whatever. And she saw me in my truck unloading a cooler with chairs in my hand and stuff. She's like, Trae, can you grab me a chair? I looked at her. I said, no. And I was like, I kind of felt bad, but then it felt good. It felt so good. Because, like, for one thing, she didn't go crazy. She used to. She's grown up.
Yeah.
Good for her. I see. But at the same time, because it would be something that small, and she would have a fit at some points in time and just tell me, oh, shit. Not in a bad way. Like, we didn't never beef that hard.
Yeah.
But you know, it was just like, I really thought about it. Like, I told her no, like, without hesitation. I was like, ooh, kind of good at this, you know? And yeah, because it's like, it don't make sense. Like, at this point, I got 2 kids out here running around, a pregnant girlfriend out here running, you know, and it's like,
yeah.
Why would I say yes to you at this point? Because you're only 50 feet away from me anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, I'm trying not to cuss on here, not because it's not allowed, but because I'm trying to do
Same.
Hey man, you got words is powerful. We said that too. It's like when you speak better, you operate at a different mindset, which
in the frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want positive, so I'm gonna bring in positive. Be positive.
Yeah, man.
Mother. No.
Okay. Hey, yo, that reminds me. Off topic, real quick. There's a video of this dude that said it's like a kindergarten class.
Okay.
And it's a cartoonist and it said Bobby or Billy, whatever, you can't go your whole life talking shit. He was like, you want to bet? You sorry, no good. And he's going the whole time. We go through his graduation, his son's birth, his wedding, his mom, like, and at the end it was like he died literally talking noise. And somebody comes into the tree that he's buried under. and they come and eat a fruit and it starts talking shit. I have to show you that video here soon.
That's
But no, that was off topic. But
good, all good.
nah. But yeah, changing the frequency and just getting up.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of one of the things. It's like it's hard to do.
Yeah.
Especially when you grow up with just a
learned behavior.
Yeah, like from where you're from.
Yeah.
Anywhere from the earth, you know, basically. Like when you learn a certain behavior, you think you are or not supposed to be a certain way. You don't even know, but you're changing your mind this way. So when you get control of things, like you're supposed to seize, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard. But yeah, I'm glad to realize it at least. And also, but that animated video I was telling you about was one of those things that kept me really inspired. It's a whole Facebook page, but things like that is like they took the time out to animate these short videos. You know, they not too many of them longer than 5 minutes, but whether it's a team or not, there's somebody that does this. Set the time out long enough to have these characters, to have this library built up, this, that, and the third, to make this a thing. And it became a thing. It's a real viral page. And I want to be able to do that for myself. Not even to share with people that I want to know. I really wanted to make friends. I wanted friends. And I don't have any. Like I got friends that like, you know, but for as long as I've been around and, you know, and the things that I wanted, I never got. And the friends that I wanted, I never got. And I knew these people. I wanted them to accept me, and they do. But we're not friends. You know what I mean? We're not. And I thought having these people as friends would amplify my art career or put me in a position in a room. But that's not the case because
shooting for the wrong crowd, buddy.
I don't have to shoot for a crowd at all, and that's the other thing.
Well, look at that revelation.
Look, when it hits, sometimes it hits pretty hard. But I'm so used to being alone. Yeah. And like, you know, I didn't want to do it by myself, man. I wanted somebody to be interested in the same spot on the levels that. But no, actually, let me stop and say, let me shout out to my friends Mike and Sadell for always being, and my other friend Mike too. Yeah. I got 2 mics. There's always a couple mics around me, man.
I have a mic.
A mic sound nice. Check. No. But I say that because I said I don't have friends, but I never doubt the people that are around for me. But
I mean, there was a point in your life where you felt like that. Like even if you were able to associate with people, it's like. There's something about that internal feeling of being alone that you can't explain, but you can't shake. And people, you know, you just gotta accept it. But like, there's ways to understanding it and then figuring it out. But like, when people take it to heart, they're like, "What do you mean you don't got no friends? I'm right here." It's like, well, hold on, that's not what I mean. You know?
I got a lot of that.
Yeah. Well, and then you gotta understand, like, as you get older, you can't really. I mean, like, I know you, but. What the way I consider a friend is that we don't socialize like that. Like we're acquaintances at best, and people got to be okay with that.
You gotta have to be
because like they take that stuff to heart, and they're just like, oh, I thought we were friends. I thought we were boys. Like I mean, cool. But the way I consider a boy is like somebody I can talk to and vibe with. Like I haven't gotten to that point with you yet.
Even if we was to that point at one point in time in life, our vibrations don't go that way. We grew apart.
Yeah.
And I see you doing different things.
And that's gotta be okay too.
Yep.
That's gotta be okay too.
But a lot of times it is a lot more okay than what people want to give that moment.
And that's one thing we have to understand is that the social way that we've moved growing up is gonna be different. That's one thing I'm going to talk about in the next episode of BAFSAP is like how things have changed socially as we've gotten older. A lot of us will be like, I don't really talk to people like that anymore. And you know, there's something internal about that that's made that change. I think it's just like you don't really operate the way that people in your circle have or still do. You don't do that anymore. So it's like I don't talk to people. It's like no, you just don't talk to people that you used to hang out with.
Let me hold right there and say that has nothing to do with with your self-worth.
Not at all.
And because I've recently, like, these are very, very recent epiphanies.
Yeah.
Been coming up. But I found myself in this kind of a fetal position, almost like felt like I was crying like a little, you know what I mean? But yeah, that. But and I was like, man, why was I not good enough, or why couldn't they didn't want to bring me here, this and that and the third? Well, they didn't want to. And let's be real, your social skills suck.
That's all.
It is fine because I know I'm a very
And
dope person
here's where
otherwise.
it
But
starts. I'm sorry. It
it's
starts
cool.
in like middle school and high school when we're like we're sponges to how we're supposed to act in social settings. So we're learning how to be ourselves, but we're trying to be cool, we're trying to be funny, we're trying to be this, we're trying to be that. And that, if we're not halted, if we're not correcting, if we don't take that correction that goes into being in high school, which then you're checked, because if you're in high school, people be like, yo, you whack and you need to stop. And that's a harsh reality for someone your age to tell you, like, hey, nah. And you're like, that's probably like your first time taking destructive criticism. You're like, you said I'm not funny. I think I just want to, like, and that's where like bullying comes into play, because then like you let someone do that, and then you just like, you don't tell anyone, you let it happen, and then that's when like a lot of times kids end up taking their lives because they're bullied in that manner. Horrible for the bully to do that and not realize that it's wrong. But like, it also kind of veer off for a second. It's the responsibility of everyone around to be like, hey, that's not right, what can I do to help, instead of being like, hey, you got to do this, and you let that kid go, because then you're like stuck with that guilt. But to jump back on, to be socially present, I think we need to reimagine what that means, because like you see people who click up, and that's because they've gotten to know each other a lot sooner, or they knew each other coming in. So on the outside looking in, you don't know the backstory, and you're like, oh, I wish I had what they had. You just gotta be able to talk to people. Because, and here's another thing, I've also seen this on social media where people are like, oh, I'm not checking in on nobody because don't nobody check out for me. That is the dumbest thing you could think, because if no one's ever checking on you, you never check on anyone else. You're stuck in that rhetoric that people have to check on you first. I'm not checking on nobody first because no one checks on me. That's how people check on people, is that they do it first.
Folks got lives, man. Basically, like, you gotta do it first.
Like, how is anyone supposed to do it for you if no one does it first?
That's
like
one of the easiest ways to pay it forward. You mention it's just like seriously check up on somebody and be like, hey, good, how you doing? What's up? And maybe it does. If it don't, then whatever.
You never know. Someone actually goes, you know what? I needed that. Even like if they don't like, they don't. I'm gonna use what Sean told me. They don't pour into you.
Right.
Because if they're dumping on you, well, he says if they're dumping on you means that they're just trying to give you all the information, vent quick, and be like, all right, I'm out. But when they pour into you, they just kind of like allow you to listen, allow themselves to be vulnerable, and then you guys kind of have a conversation about it, and then you set it up for another day or no. But I think we all have to have this kind of comprehension that if we want someone to be there for us, we have to be there for someone. And just like you said, pay it forward. If someone was there for you, do it for somebody else. Don't continue to look for a credit to be taken and applied, because that right there is what keeps the loop going of negativity, negative social behaviors. Is that, oh, I need someone to do it for me first before I go do it. I think when you're in that loop, I think you got to understand it's your time to go ahead and do it first.
Last thing you need is somebody on there saying, or make this shareable. Y'all just sitting up here looking like too goofy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because then like all these people who are like liking it and comments, and then like,
liking it based off of their negativity. That's
period. Like, no, that's shut up.
Don't promote that. Why are you promoting it?
Because then you could all like each and every one you make a comment here, just be like, hey, are you good? Instead of just agreeing, be like, hey, are you good though? Boom. Easy.
So let me ask you, what if a person check on doesn't really, not necessarily doesn't check back, but just doesn't really take it as doesn't appreciate it?
That happens.
Just really didn't say, do you stop checking up? Do you think about it the next time?
That's a good question.
How do you I mean,
That's a good
I
question.
don't. It's actually, I'm speaking from experience. So I
Yeah.
gotta stop before I, just make myself look foolish and try to hide it. But yeah, I'm speaking from experience. So if I call and check in on somebody and they don't really care, they haven't checked back in,
Uh-huh.
or it's just all kind of. It's always that conversation where it's just like, yeah, okay, bye, and it's like, dude, I'm not going to. I mean, this is
Right.
definitely not for. I'm sketching. Sorry, I
No,
forgot
you're good.
my word. Not for advice, but
Asking for a friend.
wanted to see kind of what people's reaction is. You know what I mean? What do you do?
Okay, so
I'm
for
not. I
me,
mean,
I
like,
have to ask this in response. Did you do it out of the kindness of your heart, or did you feel like you needed to do it?
I wanted to share some news. I didn't necessarily just say, "Hey, how you doing, man?" I literally said, "Hey, what's going on, bro? How you doing? What's been going on?" Hey, I'm sharing this news with you. And it's like, "Hey, yeah, good." Everything was just like, "Oh, yeah."
So I think in
Yeah.
that aspect, if you don't really know what the person's schedule is, they could be working, they could be with family, they could, like, and for me, I'm horrible at responding and opening messages, as some may know and understand. Um, Sometimes it passes me, and here's the thing: we expect people to be able to like respond or at least show some kind of sign that they saw what we saw because we're used to it. And then there's also this narrative that like, everyone must be on their phone as equal or more than I am. That's kind of like the small mentality of it. Some people have it more because they're like, why didn't you respond? It's like, don't make a big deal out of it. Big deal. But for me, I used to think that way because I'd be like, oh, I'm not doing this again. Not with you, at least, because I wanted you to say something. But I think when you have to think about the reality, it's like you never know what someone's going through. It may have made their day, but maybe for some reason they weren't able to, or they just didn't respond, or whatever. So personally, I no longer take it as a hit. I just go, okay, hey, they may or may not see it. If not, seed's been planted, move on. Because, like I said, it's just, you never know, right, on the other end. And hey, you never know if, like, you reach someone too late.
Well, you can always say, "Oh, they'll be fine."
Yeah.
I mean, like, and not I guess, like, you don't have to drop any like negativity toward it
No.
because I don't.
Because here's another tell sign is that after you had sent the message, you put in the effort, you reached out, and you see that they're still active on social media, posting pictures, posting posts, whatever it is. Okay, they're good. My question was answered.
Yeah. Basically.
Or maybe like, yeah, they're still alive. Whatever they're dealing with, they'll see me, and if it helps, if not, hey, the temp was there, and you continue.
So do you try to, like, maybe a few months down the line, or is it just that as you think about it, think about this person? Do you really want to sit up here and think that at the end of this phone, this person's kind of rolling their eyes?
Both, because I would try to do it. So like, if you feel it, try to understand how long it was before you did it last time. Because if you didn't get a response, probably don't want to seem like you're trying to pry. Maybe this person just needs some space. So I would probably give it like a month after the first time. If you're wanting to shoot for a third, give it a couple months, maybe 3 months. After that, it probably just seems like the person doesn't really care to speak to you. And so instead of doing it directly, just kind of hit with a general statement, like on your news feed, like, hey, just if you're having a bad day, or if you're going through something, just understand I'm here for you, I'm supporting you, I'm rooting for you. I just hope that you guys have a good day today, a good week this week, a good month this year. Get through the storm. Understand, like, you have a list full of contacts, you have a list full of people. Reach out to someone if you need it. If that person doesn't answer, reach out to the next person. I think promoting people to understand that, because we're always scrolling. We're looking for something that entertains us. Like, we'll scroll past things, we'll half read things, but like, if someone can stop and see that, that's not only giving them the message, but you're also instilling an opportunity to pay it forward.
Amen. Okay. Because I kind of think about, like, when you said make a status and kind of speaking out to the world, me lately has been kind of a thing that I've been staying away from.
feeling.
Like I said, I feel like I'm on a soapbox, you know, and I'm screaming at people, and there's only one person standing there,
Is that the
and
whole
he's
you suck
yelling,
thing that you're talking about?
"Nobody cares."
Okay.
Yeah, it's like he said, "Nobody cares," and
Somebody cares.
somebody does.
It's
Somebody
just that
does.
they're not listening. They're
Um,
not showing you that they're listening, but they hear you.
well, it's kind of one of them moments at this point. Now I gotta ask, how much is my faith really shaking? You know what I mean? I mean, if I did feel that way about it, and I'm a fairly faithful person, but you know,
You have your
but,
rocky times.
um, I don't have a lot of faith that I'm doing good for people. I don't think I'm doing bad for people, but I don't have a lot of faith that I am the person that's seen that's good for them. I'm trying to do good for me, and I think that's one of the things is like I should be doing better for myself before I project trying to do good for other people.
What is your definition of doing good for people?
It's actually pretty broad.
Give me a
Sometimes it is
general.
just like
Give me a general idea of what it means to be
doing
good
good
for
for
other
people.
people. Yeah.
Let me really think about it real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead. Take a moment.
It all depends on what I put out there. It really does. Let's say if I put a status out there saying everybody do good, have a great day.
Okay.
I'm sure. Let's say I have 1,500 friends on Facebook. I'm sure 40 people felt pretty good.
Okay.
But I have to trust that 40 people are actually the people that have seen that status, because there's an algorithm that goes in that doesn't necessarily play into what you know what I mean. So making sure that it's seen by the right people is also another thing, because you're not right now. I'm not doing a lot of posting.
So let's say this. Well, let's put it in a
Trash can?
perspective of right next to you. Right there. So let's put it in a perspective without social media. Just out of the genuine kindness of your heart, what do you feel is the definition to you of being good to someone, anyone, whether it be friend,
Being
family, stranger?
good?
Yeah, what is it to do good by someone or do good for someone?
Oh man, it's
I know I understand it could be broad, but like, what do you feel is just like what will sum up being able to
that's
be a
a
good?
hard question. My thing is always like I would have to show you if I can communicate a way to tell you based off of what I'm seeing in you every day. If I can put in, if I can help you to put something in another perspective, I'm doing good for you. If I can help you to get over something, I'm doing good for you. I mean, even in the smallest way, if you're doing math homework and I can teach you a different way to look at math in order for you to understand it in a way that you didn't know you could understand it.
You and math?
Me?
I'm playing.
Yeah. I know what 2 plus 2 is. 22. No, 21. No, I'm not. But that's also a thing is like, that's so funny that I say that because I've failed completely a lot of times trying to do that. It's just happened.
Failed.
Oh, it happened to me last night.
Okay.
Somebody asked me something and I gave them the wrong information. Wrong thing.
Were you certain of the information that you gave?
I thought I was. Now, had I been in the area where it was, I could have done better about. But I looked at it real briefly, and yeah, it didn't help them at all.
So it wasn't that you were a failure. You gave all that you could. You gave what you thought was, the right answer, but unfortunately, it wasn't the correct one. So it wasn't a failure. It was just it wasn't right. Because here's the thing: you apply the effort to want to help that person. I think that's exactly what it takes. It's just putting in the effort. So I don't think that you failed at doing anything. It's just wasn't right.
But that's where my concept of reality kind of strikes in.
Yeah.
Like, not to say that you're living in dreamland, but in a world where
reality.
the path of hell is making good intentions, man.
Yeah.
And tried and you hoped and you did the best you could. Maybe it's not on you, but at the same time, it could very easily be on you. because you gave somebody the wrong information.
Okay.
And that's a real thing, you know. That's just like them girls on there. Make this shareable. You sharing the wrong information.
Oh, okay.
And you know, that's yeah, that's kind of the thing that I'm experiencing. It's like maybe I should just.
So to kind of circle back on everything, you know, because we were asking what it means to do good. What's your definition? And you're saying that you don't like, you feel like you're that person on the soapbox being ignored until someone finally says no one cares, right? It's one person to say that. It took them that much effort to say no one cares. Now, of course, you get all these people who are walking by. They're hearing you, but I mean, of course, they don't know what you're going through. They don't know if you're going to approach them, if you're going to stop them. They're just trying to go about their day, but they hear you. So they're not going to look at you, but they hear you, right? But then you get those people who actually stop and look at you. They're kind of giving you a listen. Now, they're not showing any signs of agreeing with you, head nodding, doubting, yeah, keep going, preach, amen, none of that.
Right.
But they're watching you, they're listening to you. And then you get that one person who says, no one cares, right? So you've gotten the attention. You know that people are walking by and they hear you. That unless they're deaf or have headphones on, they hear you.
Right.
So they hear you, they see you and they're listening. You got one person to speak out and say they don't, that you, no one cares. You've clearly done good, but if you're gonna let the voice of one person, and this is just in general,
Right.
you're gonna let the voice of one person because you have their attention. The thing you gotta understand is that you have their attention enough for them to say no one cares. You cared enough to tell me that. And it's resonating with you because it's something that you don't want to hear, because you don't feel like it's gonna help you. It's starting to help because you had to tell me that no one cares. When really you're saying no one cared about me, so why should I care about you?
Oh yeah.
That's what the man is saying. You know, in that announcement to you, that's what he's saying. No one cared about me, so why should I care about you? Not that no one cares, that you need someone to care for you, homie. So I'm gonna stay up here and I'm gonna keep saying what I gotta say until you can pay it forward.
Yeah.
So when we look at the idea of being a good person and whether it's successful or not, that doesn't exist.
Nah, it really doesn't.
Because as long as you put in the effort, that's all that matters. Like, that's the definition of being able to, like, what it means to help someone or be good to someone is that you put in the effort to do exactly what you could when you can. And if you can't do much, you lead them in a direction as best as possible. Here's the thing. So as long as you can acknowledge someone, you've helped. Think about it. If you're constantly ignored, you're at a breaking point, and people are just ignoring you, or they don't even give you the time to say, "Hey, I can't." Not even look you in your eye. Like, do you understand how emotionally like leveled you'd be if someone was just stop and say, "Hey, I don't know how to help you, but I hope you find it," or "Hey, I'm sorry, I can't help you," or "Hey, maybe you could try this place or this place."
I've just been a negative person on the
Well, no,
end.
because you're being human, and no one talks about it enough. So instead of being ignored, and you're just like, you're wanting to break and say, "Can someone help me, please?" And then you get everyone's attention, but it's not in the best way possible. Everyone's like, "What?" At that point, right?
Yeah.
So it helps to be able to just acknowledge that someone needs help, whether you can or not.
Yeah.
Because true. Like let's think about it in like in a morbid sense here. Let's say that there was an incident in public. This is perfect.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm sorry.
No, you're perfect.
Fine. So let's say there was a shooting in the mall. Talking about a shooting in the mall. Let's say that let's say that someone had a medical incident in public.
Okay.
No one knows what's going on, but everyone's, one person rushes to see what happens. What happens outside of that little circle? Let's put it in two circles. There's a circle of the incident and there's a circle of the audience.
Right.
So you got one person who ran out to help. "Hey, are you okay? Are you hurt?" Just trying to understand the situation.
Right.
What's everyone else doing? If you look up, if you're the person to run the person on the ground, you look up, what's everyone else doing?
Watching. sitting and watching with the phones. Oh,
Now, how annoying would that be if you were the person on the ground?
I'm fighting some.
But then you're super thankful for the person or even the people who came and checked up on you, right?
You know what? Not even to be funny or contrarian here. Somebody did that at the dollar store once. Everybody was watching this lady because she fell, right? I mean, I was in the ENT classes a little bit before that, and I didn't pass or nothing. Well, I didn't go all the way through. I dropped out. But if a geriatric falls, what's the last thing you want to do? Hoist them.
Oh, okay.
So that's exactly what this man did, looking at us like we wasn't, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And it's just like, that's improper assistance.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm not trying to be contrarian because I believe 100% of what you're saying, but
right.
It's so often that
and it's a good statement.
The latter happens.
Yeah, it's a good statement.
It's like, and he had the greatest intentions, and the way that he was looking at me for not helping or not jumping to do that, it was like he was sick. Like he was like, I can't believe you didn't help her. And I was like, now I couldn't tell him that that's not what you're supposed to be doing right now. You know what I mean?
Well, and see, that would have been a good thing because at least you can coach him through it. Because it's not as severe, but I felt that before. I remember walking through the store, and this guy was walking by, I think with his wife or girlfriend or something. But then there was like between me and that couple, there was another lady who was picking up a can of pop. She had to kind of get lower, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't think anything of it. But then the guy, he's like, here, man, let me help you out with that. And then he kind of had like a tone like I should have knew better to do that. And I didn't honestly notice that she may or may not need help. I was like, well, she's getting it. So like I said, not as severe, but like I didn't understand like she may or may not.
There's a personality thing that had to do with the person that was helping them.
Right.
Like, it's not, at a certain point, it's not their business whether you helped them or not. Your spot, you can have scoliosis.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I mean, I don't just anything is like, there's a reason. And if you don't know this person, then it's not your business whether they're helping or not.
Right.
And it's hard because you want to see everybody be a gentleman. You want to see everybody doing good. But that's not how it works, homie.
And at the same time, you never know. Like, I might have been the person like, hey, like, you know, if you ask me, I'll be able to help. Like, or it's like, hey, I can't interact with women because such and such. Like, there's so many variables to why I made. Your wife? I was alone.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, if I'm being correct, I think I was with somebody, but it's like, you know.
So because he was probably hating.
That's what I'm saying.
No, for real, that's a real thing. It's like,
and he had somebody with him.
Almost like a dirty Mac, but kind of a let me look better in front of this dude. Like he's looking at you a certain way, you know?
Yeah. Because he had somebody. It was a female. He had a female with him.
Boom. See, that's on him.
I didn't think about it like that.
I think about that kind of stuff all the time because why are you in my business?
Trying to muscle in, like, oh hey, let me be the gentleman.
And it's not because it's like oh, because you're looking at me, you think I'm doing better, but it's just like there's obviously something going on with you if you think that you have to look at me a certain way based off of what I did or didn't do.
You're trying to signal me. You're trying to make me beta. Okay. Word.
No, it didn't. But it never does if you go home and handle your business like you're supposed to every day. You know what I mean? It's just like it doesn't matter.
There's employees to help that lady. Like, she could have asked for help if she really needed it.
What's the word, man? They die every day, B. And it's not, and not to be that harsh about it, but I mean for real. There's millions of people that go out here without help.
Yeah.
And we can't save them all. It's good. I'm not trying to say you can't save everybody.
You can't save everybody.
It's just that, and that's the mentality that people have. Like when you're walking through the streets, and you know you just going about your day,
right?
You know what I mean? You worried about yourself.
No, I had to tell myself that because I was always trying to. I guess this is a good spot. I was always trying to like help people, and I put myself out there. But like, you know, I'm losing sleep. I gotta be to work. I'm late for work, or I'm supposed to be with people, and like I would ruin so many moments for myself because I'm trying to help someone. It's like I didn't always like.
Hell is paved in good intentions.
I didn't ever really like create a stopping point to say like, hey, this is as far as I can go.
And takers don't have limits.
No,
I learned that in the meeting. But I mean, it was
I
real. It
learned
was
that the
just like,
hard way, and it's crazy
yo,
that you're saying that now because I'm like, damn, I've never actually thought of it like that.
yeah. And it sucks. I remember I was working in Tulsa. I was doing my internship, and I tell you, I had some material going to Super Bowl local listing commercial,
Uh-uh.
and yeah, I did. That was at 2013, 2014. I graduated, but I'm working in the sports authority. This was like November. The kids was coming in for football playoffs and all this other kind of stuff, and I was trying to help them because I had a manager that was telling me to go follow these black kids. Trayvon Martin was happening around this time and all this other kind of stuff. So I'm here, and uh, I literally walked up to him and told him, I was like, hey, y'all, like, got us following y'all. Y'all need to get out of here because they think y'all stealing. Man, them boys must have got stuck around for another 20 minutes and and cleaned us out. And I'm sitting up here looking like like that Seinfeld music gonna come get played in the background. um, um, but not for real. I mean, it just kind of depends, and that's like one of the reasons why I'm on signing this. Like, I'm literally things that I'm doing right now are just not necessarily even backfiring, but it's just like it's stale.
Yeah.
I wish I could get to that person, but right now, shoot, at this point, I gotta get to myself.
Yeah.
My physical health is actually kind of on the teeter right now. Really gotta mess around with the mess around, but yeah, it's a lot of other stuff to handle. I love the idea of helping people.
Yeah.
But if it becomes a hindrance for me, not necessarily for anybody else, but um, just when it's not as fruitful as I hope it is.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna have to get away from it, man, and it's hard because of my personality. But
So here's the thing, and I had to learn this very, very hard. Still trying to get comfortable with it. You people like us, people out there that are like us, gotta learn how to ask for help.
right.
Because we help so many people, they're so comfortable being able to ask, and they probably stepped out of their comfort zone at one time, and you made them feel okay about it. Sometimes we got to be able to ask for help ourselves.
But I don't know what I need help with.
You will, and maybe it's not even that. Maybe if you know that you need some time to kind of have some clarity with yourself, if you have an off day, but you kind of like need a couple hours to really solidify some art or solidify an idea, or get some like off work done. Gotta sit it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Try to set something up with somebody like, hey, I'm really trying to get serious about it, but I'm trying to maintain my motivation. Mind kind of helping me watch him for a couple hours while or stuff like that. Or like if you get a day where like you have to be off because of an errand, like take full advantage of it. See, like, hey, I got this errand to run, but I also want to try to get something done too. Do you mind helping me with him a couple hours? Something like that,
Yeah.
Because like if you get stuff done, or like you have a stacked list and you don't ever realize how much you could get done if you had the help. But I think if you go through the list, you'd be like, well, I think I could. But it's just, and like I said, it was tough for me too because I wouldn't ask for nothing. I'd struggle until it was done.
Were you spoiled as a child?
Oh God, no.
Oh,
Dude, I was the oldest. I wasn't even spoiled.
Okay, you were the oldest.
I was the oldest in the house. I do have an older brother, but like,
I was spoiled rotten.
You were?
But not so against my will, against my better understanding until I was old enough to understand that I wasn't going to be able to stand on anything if I let this keep happening. Not a bad thing for, like I said, I'm not going to get on this podcast and start blaming my parents for nothing. I had everything I needed. They love me very much still today. I love them. But at certain points you have to realize that you can very easily hold your child back doing too much. And I think a lot of people, I think it's become a thing with me because I have these expectations without really going through things that people that are really out here getting it gone through. No matter how good or bad I am at art, it's just like there's a certain thing. It's like it's for the gate that I want to break through. It's like it ain't me, man.
So, okay, so I guess to put everything together, I think with you being able to understand, so okay, like this all goes full circle. So we're on the subject of like being able to help. What's the definition of being able to be like to do good for someone outside of yourself, right? And we've kind of come to terms as like as long as you can acknowledge, that's the first step, and that's pretty much like that's a huge step. So for you, I think coming to terms with the fact, like I think one, I think to help understand like the kind of the reason, the cause for a lot of the issues that you internalize could be solved with us doing this.
Nah, like this feels good on a level that I um haven't really got the chance to actually do in life. Yeah, doing this is incredible. Honestly,
my aim is to. I mean, I have so many goals with doing this. With the one, it adds another day for me, which also adds more, attention to. And these are not in order, but just kind of like going down the list. It helps if you had some interest in it, so it helps get you an understanding of the process and everything. Not only recording, but also editing and posting. And also, not to mention on Twitch, like whenever we record, like the unedited version of all this is available as a video on demand for 14 days on Twitch.
Okay.
On YouTube, I'm not really sure, but I didn't set it up because I post them edited on YouTube anyway. But you could also add that feature. But you're interested, so showing you the ropes. I get to hang with a genuine friend. I get my guy time. I'll also get to kind of like reestablish the artistic side of me, kind of plant the seed for that. Like I'm knocking out so many things, but like when you came to me and you're like, hey, I'm interested, the first thing that came to my mind wasn't, oh, this will be a good thing for me. I'm like, dude, hell yeah, because I was in the same position you were. I was interested, but like I didn't have anyone to be like, yo, I'll show you the ropes. I had to learn. I had to stream 20 times to be like, okay, the settings need to be this need to be that, so I can have a. That is dope. Thank you.
That's what
Like, I had to go through it all, but like when I heard that someone, especially you, were like, said, I'm like, dude, let me, yeah, because you're a friend. So I was like, let me show you what I've learned, and like being able to pass that information is so cool because like I struggled, man. I almost gave up because I was struggling. So, yeah, that's part of the help going full circle, and then also to rebuild that rekindle that flame of not like wanting to drop out and retire is always going to be on the forefront with, especially with an artist. Like I feel like that's always the thing.
Yeah, it's always
with artists. Like, I just want to give up, but I can't.
Look how many times Jay-Z quit that time. For real,
or
man.
P. Diddy?
Did he? He changed his name 15 times before he said he was going to retire.
Lil Wayne can't stick to one actual definition for the F in his name.
No, it isn't. But I like that song, so I'm not gonna knock it too hard, but it is funny.
I will. Yo, it starts with a PH.
Not in Louisiana, it don't. I love country people, man, because that would
their logic on language is just beyond me. Perfect.
And it's not even to make fun, because if you need a translator for old Southern tongue, I got you.
Because when people start halfway pronouncing the words, like okay, so like for instance, the way that DC Youngfly talks sometimes,
man,
I'm like okay, and then everyone started talking like that. I'm like, no, I need to understand what you're saying, and this is going to be a very short conversation. Not to knock anybody, but like that's a topic for another day. But like being it, like the influences of how to like speak in the dialect, and then like the Urban Dictionary and how like it transpires and how it just floods socially.
Yeah, it's
We'll
wild.
get to that another day, but you know, that's just my God.
Funny story.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I told people, I want to make the first urban dictionary. I didn't call it urban dictionary. I was like, I want to make a slang dictionary.
Right.
And like, I wanted to officiate it.
Right.
I could be a genius, man. I should write a book. Because urban dictionary is huge now.
Yeah.
But I mean, this was like when the internet was just popping off. And I'm sure that there's always been renditions of a slang. I didn't have one in my hand, you know what I mean? My parents wasn't going. But I mean, I just thought about that because that's kind of like my idealistic mind. I'm like, I'm always thinking of something.
Yeah.
But I never really get the pipeline to apply it to. That's what the part that bothers me, because if I don't ever, then I will never, like I never tried, you know what I mean? I gotta try something.
Imagine the pressures. I tell you that there is a word that's gonna work, and you're like, no, the hell it won't. And they're like, can you put it in there? No.
A word?
Like, let's say someone came to you like, hey man, I need you to put this word in the Urban Dictionary. Skiddly wop. And it's like, get out of my face. Like, what is that? Oh man, and like they take 30 minutes to give you the entire explanation, but it's like, no, seriously, what's that word?
I'm gonna give you an old black proverb. Better skippily do up on out of here.
Yeah, use the word or the action against him. I don't know. You better skittles and bag wop move. Make a stallion out of here.
Shit.
Go.
Imagine being so bad you induce a stutter in your mouth.
That's parenting.
I'm gonna get a stutter. I
have one.
Well, I've always had one.
It gets worse.
Somebody, yeah, when you get
angry,
or like nerves when you flare up. So my grandpa had a real bad stutter. My mama kinda has a stutter, but I saw in the memes like, yeah, I seen a lot of them. I be on Facebook a lot. Burning time. But
motivation right there.
Like,
put your phone down.
Like my mouth was buffering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like my tracking is off by He's not stupid, his tracking is just off. So if he said, huh, and then he answered, it's just buffering. That's all it was. And I do that all the time. And people think I'm a dope for it, but it's literally
the thing.
Clearly. But, you know.
Hey, can you give me that remote? Huh?
Oh, yeah. Here you go. Yeah, that's 100%.
It's okay. So I feel like it has the same wiring as like saying like in the middle of a sentence or saying
Well,
because it's a response to carry on the silence to be like I'm processing.
Samuel L. Jackson has a stuff. Yes, he cusses.
That's why he says motherfucker. Huh.
I'm just saying, man. It's like people have their quirks, you know, or whatever's and.
Like some people, it's not verbal; it's physical.
Man, here's another thing about pressures and stuff like this, and I wasn't really gonna talk about this because I'm trying to stop giving myself labels. Beard. Have you noticed that the meaning for beard has changed in the last probably 3 or 4 years?
Now, because I know it's changed in the last like.
It's way more negative now. Way more negative now.
Oh yeah.
Weird used to be kind of just against the grain, you know, just kind of like different, you know.
Yeah, there's a negative connotation.
But now it's like weird. Like even I would associate weird with like, hey, you acting weird.
Yeah.
Like that's not a good thing.
Something's wrong with you.
But I've always been called weird. Now I can't you can't call me weird anymore because I'm not negative.
Right.
You know what I mean? I might be a little, call it something else or whatever, but it's not weird. I can't be weird no more.
Yeah.
But I guess, but.
So with that.
Hate that, but it is fine.
Yeah,
because I'm not. I mean, I'm not with people. But you know, it used to be my thing.
As long as ain't nobody calling you something that you're really not, like a pedophile, then okay, call me weird. I don't care.
But see, the thing is, a lot of people start with weird, and then it becomes things like.
If they don't know you, why does it matter?
I don't know. Ask anybody who's had a news clip in the past.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm trying to get the idea for ourselves and the audience. Like, I know this happens a lot with women, and you know.
Careful now.
No,
come for you. They're gonna come for you.
Let them.
All right now.
Because that's what the discussion's about. Come talk. You know. Don't put the comments down. We'll have a discussion about it. But no, like, here's the thing, because it's a beauty standard that women feel like they have to follow. 86% of women feel like they have to follow, and I'm saying 86 to be lenient because a lot of people, well, a lot of women, they'll go on social media. It used to be magazines. It used to be
social media ain't that new. It's new, but it ain't that new.
watching music videos, watching movies, watching models. It used to be magazines. Now it's like you can go click on an Instagrammer's page and like, oh, I'm an Instagram model now.
I want to look at her and I want to look like her, and that's why all these
And then you
BBLs
start getting
out
into
there.
like the makeup tutorials, because you want to kind of do what they've done. They're like, oh, and it's like you're already telling yourself that you don't look
Good enough.
right, and so then you go to follow it, and then you're expecting people to follow suit.
Yep.
So then either you leave it there, you're like, oh, I like this is me, or you get deeper into it, and then
Try to change other things.
yeah, and then you start getting lip fillers, you get
Mhm.
implants, and places you don't need them. Like
Yeah.
there's a label put on people, and like in order to follow suit, to keep out of labels, you put yourself in one. There's always a constant loop of not wanting to be labeled, but you're in a label by being but
Yeah.
so like here's the thing. A lot of women, they don't want to be called hoes, but will be out there messing around with dudes. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Like,
I mean, do what you want to do, right? I'm not.
because like the fact that women have to sit here and like they have to abide by the ideology of a man, like, oh, I don't want my woman who's been out there, but you have. Like, if you're a dude who's had a lot of women, but you want woman to be like one or two men, like, that's insane.
Man, look, when it comes to that kind of stuff, stop picking those kind of men. Stop picking men that look like. Let's be real.
There you go.
Well, I'll talk my little shit real quick. We're literally talking about the generation of women who never listen to anybody about picking their men.
Because they think they know.
You know what I mean? It's like, how do you know what? How do you combat? Everybody told you not to deal with him, or anybody that looks like him because they look like the type that's gonna, you know what I mean? And you say no, I don't. And now you have this idea of all men are this way. And
Here's one thing that will really shut that whole thing down. They don't want the label of they had a person, I told you so. They'll keep going and going and going and going to evade the I told you so. Men do it too.
My dad's the walking. Oh yes, I do, because my dad is the walking. I told you so. Like, if there's a dictionary definition, I told you so. My dad's picture is there, probably with a caption that says "I told you so." Like, but
so, like labels, like, okay, so women don't like to be called hoes. They don't like to be called sluts. Some women will find empowerment on being called that, so they'll take control of that label, right? But you don't have to worry about being anything. Just do what you do. Like, I was called a hoe. I was called to get around. I'm like, yeah, and
well, that's the thing is that, like, a lot of the times
you don't want it.
Depends on your personality. Like, if you care that much about what people are going to say, don't do those things. Yeah. I should be able to twerk her through the store if I want to. Okay, but don't expect anybody not to say anything. That's stupid.
Wash your ass first, but do it.
Yeah, we can't have this conversation and not expect anybody. Is that the tilapia? No. But no, it's like, even me, like, that'd be like us having this conversation and expecting anybody that hears it not to say anything about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you have to take what comes with. I mean, like, that's full circle of what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
You got to take what comes with it. Don't.
That's part of the territory. You're whenever you're doing something, you deem the responsibility of the label that comes with it.
Yep. A lot of people don't want to do that, and it's obvious. It's like, you just want me to, you want me to not say anything. You want to keep acting like this, like, no. It's gonna be a thing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So people talk about things.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily care that much about it, but they talk about it because it's a thing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, if you want to do it in the privacy, do it in the privacy. But don't go into public with expectations like you're not.
Like, it happens to a lot of younger women because, like, they see other women, older women, like they're taking on the world, and they're like, oh, why can't I be that way? So they take that same mentality and they try to apply it to little things that they're doing. And it's like, no, the message is bigger than that. What's up?
What's up, Chuck?
Okay, go to mommy.
See you later.
Yeah, like they'll just try to apply it to like a smaller thing. Like, oh, why can't I wear this skirt? It's not about you wearing the skirt. It's like you want to look pretty.
And it's always, I'm not gonna say it's always, but sometimes it'd be the worst occasion too. Like, not that I'm trying to impress my supervisor or nothing, but
Right.
my supervisor, a slut. I don't want you to dress like that around this particular person, or we're going to this place where it's gonna be people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you can't respect that, then just don't. Don't. I'm not the one for you.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
It's
It's a slippery
tough.
slope.
It's so tough because like when we see people who are able to be how they are and we want to be the same way, we're not applying like the lessons that they're giving us. We're just like we're trying to be headstrong about what we want in our life.
Right.
And so when we're trying to do what we want, but then we're trying to evade labels, like who cares if there's a label? Like just do what you want to do as long as it's not in the harm of yourself or anyone else. Do it. Like let anyone sit there and call you out of their name, this and that. Like try to get to a position where you don't let it affect you because
I'm about to say that's the thing because they're gonna do it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I try to avoid labels. I don't want anybody to say. I don't want to call myself anything other than what I am.
Right.
But I don't care on the other end either. I've been called everything in the book. You know what I mean? And people have thought that was really what it was. It's like, oh, okay, but I don't get offended anymore.
Yeah.
Because I know the truth about myself. Like a lot of self realization and actualization. There's like
there you go.
Good or bad. I know the truth about myself.
Yeah.
Once you find that out, man, you really can't.
And that's another thing too, is that some people have a hard time actually allowing themselves to be honest with what they're doing, why they're doing it.
Yep.
They're like, oh, I'm not a hoe. I'm just like, no, like, what? Okay, what are you doing? Like, you're messing with more than one dude, and you're messing with more than one dude at the same time.
That's whole shit.
Same for guys. You're messing with one girl, or you're messing with more than one girl at the same time.
Well,
yes, you are deemed a hoe because that's what
said it the best.
Huh.
Most of these niggas hoes too. Oh, that's one of my favorites still.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's true.
It's what it was. But it's true. But whatever.
It's not fair for a guy to be like, yeah, so what? But then go call a girl that.
No, it's not at all. A lot of guys think that it is for whatever reason. It's like, no, dude, we not.
Or like,
who are we?
In the 90s, be like, I'm a player. Like, okay.
Mm-hmm. And then like everybody wants to excuse themselves and make it,
that's what it is. There you go. Bingo.
Yeah, it's like, no, you fall in this category just like everybody else.
As a general consensus, people try to excuse themselves from the label because they're doing the exact same thing. They just don't want to be deemed that.
Yep.
And you can't escape it. You just either do it and don't care or don't do it. You were saying before. Yeah.
Until then, go ahead and do it. Because I mean, like, I'm literally that way. I've done whole shit, and whatever. But at the same time, I wasn't expecting anybody to call me Mr. Clean. I mean, well, I wasn't expecting anybody to call me a saint.
Call me Mr. Clean because I be waxing that.
That commercial when he's in there hitting it. But nah, for real, man, it's like you got to be prepared for what's coming to you if you're gonna act in a way that, for one thing, let's be real, it's not enough people going to church if you want to avoid labels.
Yeah.
But that's probably the best way to be. But it's a long road out there. But
you don't want to be labeled? Stay away from church. They'll hit you quick. In the name of the Lord.
I rebuke thee. That's it. But
bless your heart, baby. Bless your heart.
Not yours, but hers. But now it's like if you really looking to be, oh shoot, that was just went down. I mean, it's fine. It's not a big deal. It just took me by surprise.
It does. You gotta lift it back up.
Okay, no. But now, man, I mean, like if you if you really want to be on the righteous path, or if you really want somebody to not call you anything, the best thing to do is go talk to them. I mean, if you can't ignore them, because clearly people aren't very good at that at all. Go find the righteous path, man, for real. Whatever you want to believe in, go believe in something and focus on that, because that's the only way you're gonna find that peace. If you,
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to walk out into the world and prepare to what's gonna happen, or what's gonna happen to you. It is what it is.
That's one thing that gets me, man, that people are so worried about labels and like, oh, I don't want people to know. It's like, well, continue to do things in secret, but also have the mentality that people need to mind their business. Like I would carry that mentality, and so people would be like, "Oh, Mike's this, Mike that." I'm mind your business is what I am.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm doing me, and I'm not telling anyone about it. I'm not. And some people be like, "Why don't you talk about it more?" It's like, why do I need to tell you?
Yeah, I've gotten like that. Like if you came and talked to me about it, you could have asked before this certain situation, but now that you're asking, if you don't seem like you're thoroughly interested, I'm not gonna answer.
Right.
But
and then sometimes like
come and see about me.
Some people are way too open. Like there's a such thing as being way too open.
I'm actually very guilty of that. That's why I'm here.
I don't think so. When we say open, I mean people give the dirty details of.
Okay, I don't give dirty details, but I do tend to go off on tangents when people ask me how I'm doing.
But you're also not giving people's and other people's information.
Oh yeah, I told him.
Like that one neighbor who's like, oh yeah, well John down the street, he's got two illegitimate kids, but he's married to his wife Mary, who they have three together.
I'm not that kind of open.
That kind of open.
Sorry, yeah, no, but I missed the mark that you was talking about there, because I sit up here and lie to you on purpose about it just because you asked. I'm good about airing my stuff that happened. Like, I think people be like, "How you doing, man?" And I start talking, and I feel like I start rambling. And I was like, "Oh shit, we do." And a lot of the times, it was happening because when I was in the club and couldn't nobody hear me anyway. So that was another whole nother thing. I'm glad I got out of the lifestyle, like club bar. I go to the bar still every now and again, but
bar is exceptional.
No, not even no more. I say my health is physically affected at this point in time. It's like it's time to. I can't even really do.
Oh really?
Yeah, enough for me not to. I'm not gonna get into it here and now, but
yeah.
When you really just think about things and you got coming and you not in the place that you want to be, things got to start going away. Things got to start. You got to start taking something seriously.
Yeah.
My health is one of the things that suffered since doing a lot of art, honestly, because I was doing a lot of art in an intoxicated mindset. So,
yeah.
So yeah, it's like I'm not gonna stop doing art because I shouldn't get intoxicated. I'm just gonna try. Like now I have to adjust to, just being different kind of artist. I wouldn't even call it odd. I'd say it's pretty normal. Nice little milestone. But it's one of them things is where when you talk about dropping things and focusing, you can't focus when.
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody says. You can't focus when. Whether it be greenery, alcohol, whatever.
Yeah.
Look. See?
It's you. It's you.
You see that? Yeah.
Showing you first.
It coming? Come on. Oh. What's up, big dog? You see the bird?
I get that though, what you're saying, because and that's a first step of like really like getting yourself on track. You have to create that clarity. And sometimes it's little things like, well, I say little, but sometimes it's things like your health becoming an issue that really puts yourself in check. Like, all right, man, what you want to do?
As bad as the habits may be, or whatever, dog, you really start to look at yourself and you're like, yep. Like Obama say, I'm for change.
But that harsh reality will hit anyone. Like, are you gonna abide? Are you gonna listen? Or are you gonna keep doing what you're doing?
Yeah, man. But how you gonna keep doing what you're doing if you're not healthy? You know what I mean? You can't do it for bed rest. You can't all the things you want to do, man. You're gonna eventually. For me, it's like not being physical is gonna like. How am I ever gonna make my son's practices?
Okay.
You know what I mean? If
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
too
yeah.
tired to you know, if I'm on second shift now, so it's like dealing with that. But
It's good that you say that because they don't actually get it. They don't understand the concept.
and it's common. It's
Yeah,
common that they don't, and
because they'll sit there and make excuses and play the blame game with people in their lives. But it's like, yo, this is your life.
I'm really good about making excuses. You headed out?
Yeah, me too. Well, I was, but I get it done.
But yeah, man, I'm really happy that I'm kind of seeing this. Like that, a lot of people don't, but I've and I feel like a lot of things haven't gone the way that they were supposed to be, based off of who I am.
Yeah.
Because I've blocked a lot of blessings. I've been negative in my own thinking about myself for too, and I can honestly say, as good as I am now, it could be so much more. Like it could be so much more.
Yeah. So I mean, I think you gotta look at it spiritually. Like you went through all you went through that part of life where you were destructive, as we all do. You learned your life lesson, created your responsibilities, and now it's time. Like I said, it's when we say it's my time, it's more than just I'm going to be successful. I'm going to get what I've always wanted.
Yeah.
It's learning how to be the better you in this next phase. So like we have to go through the stuff because if you go through that, like, and it always happens earlier for people like us because like, we are strong enough to carry that burden, to carry that weight. So we have to be able to do it for ourselves later on in life. And not only that, we also are capable of passing down the lessons that we learned to people younger than us or around us who didn't actually get the chance to learn that. So we're going through it to pass it on, pay it forward, in righteousness. But I think to be able to overcome where you are at it's a wonderful thing because I do share that same story, similar story, but not a lot of people understand how easy it is to go into that deep. Or how hard it is to come out of it.
So let me ask you, how do you know you actually overcame it?
Living a better life, I have a different mindset, and like I'm actually wanting to apply myself to do things.
So the things that you want are actually in front of your face, like type of thing.
Yeah, it's a slow process, but everything. I mean, like you'll start seeing things kind of happen back to back, and there's no really tell of whether or not you've actually started to make it or you're making it. Like you just continue to do things as they come, but you start to see things come more often. And you just gotta look at the signs in life. Like there's always signs around you. You just gotta take a moment to listen internally, kind of sit with yourself and be like, all right, what's next? And things will just start flooding you. Are you
I got
good?
about 15. Oh, no, you keep resting your foot. You good? So when you talked about the things happening for you, I talked this 10-year goal that I had, speaking of pressures of having my hobby become a career. 2014, graduated. By November, I got my bill, my student loans, all the whole shebang. I'm like, oh, I was sick, dog. I was sick. So I came up with a plan, 10-year plan. And when I first started, man, things were happening.
Yeah.
My friend gave me a computer. Having the computer was on my list. Like, I can technically check this off my list. I was like, I was gonna hustle enough to get, but I didn't have to. I was getting. It was wonderful. This guy's still a mentor for 3D now. He's doing a really great job in Tulsa. But just things that told me that I should have been an artist were happening. Like I got Goku's autograph, Sean Schimmel.
Oh, Sean Schimmel.
On one of my sketches. Yo, okay. Well, a lot of people don't really get that opportunity.
Yeah, that was good.
I wanted to get a job in the field. I got a job in the field. Clearly not there now, but I didn't specify when I wrote my goals out either. But all these things kind of happening and forming. Somebody had asked me to do some things, and I was getting accepted for applications. But here lately, it's all about C's, and I'm in year 9 of 10. So,
Real quick, sorry.
But now, man, so I was doing these things. These things were happening for me. People were talking for me, not speaking for me, but you know what I mean. Just, things were good. But I got to 9 out of 10, and it's like now it's time to reassess. It's literally, I feel like I'm not getting things because I'm pretty much done. Because I wasn't specific enough in my original goal.
Okay.
But things literally were happening for me. I didn't know that I was putting in the work to do what I wanted, do what I could. Like, I didn't realize how powerful.
Yeah.
Basically. So these things were easy. I thought I set it to a pretty well enough standard, but I also didn't get it in the way that I wanted. But so much happened that if I don't reassess now, then I feel like that the whole mess that I'm in right now will only stay that way. And writing out that plan was one of the greatest things I could have did for myself since graduating college. It was the greatest thing I could have did for myself. No matter how much alcohol I drank, no matter how much partying I did, I still was able to apply everything.
Yeah.
Which, but yeah, now it's time to kick it up in gear. But those things can really happen, man. If it can happen for me, if it can happen for anybody, as long as you define what you want to do.
Yeah, and that's a really good mentality to have with something like that, because like you said, you can achieve that. You remember that feeling, how great that felt. Like, but you have to you have to understand, you have to put yourself in the mindset that you were before. I'm going to go get it. I'm going to put in the effort. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like, you can have that, but you got to want it.
I want it to be Walter White of the Wichita Art Community.
Walter White, who's that? Yep, who's that? Breaking Bad? Oh, okay.
Heisenberg.
I've never seen Breaking Bad.
It was my show. If you like a good drug show.
Is that the Malcolm in the Middle band?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you like a good drug show, is that and Snowfall. What, man? I like drug movies too. That and Snowfall.
Snowfall need to finish.
Better finish it. A lot of people mad at the ending, but I think it
My
happened the way it
brother
needed
said
to
the
happen.
same thing.
It happened the way it needed to happen. I'm not. I wasn't glad, but to think that you didn't see it coming means that you're a bigger fool than I thought. Like, not for real, man. I'm not even like from there, but you gotta.
I get it.
No, I go blow because I'm about to start telling stuff. Never mind. But I told that myself. Like, shut up. But nah, definitely finished. But nah, I wanted to really like come into the art world and like come in as one of the most dominant forces I knew at that point in time. And like, I was real big on Breaking Bad, and I drew that picture. I'll show you. And I finished it. So that's the part that I didn't accomplish. I kind of don't care too much.
Well, I think you got to look at it differently, because while you're looking that up, dope.
Yeah.
Do you still do stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm gonna go back toward, I would say.
That's dope. That's nice. That's in the detail. You can't even see it because it's through the lens of the lens. But man, that's.
It's only gonna be for hobbies, and it's not gonna be so showy, because it only felt good when I was doing it for myself. Not for real. Like,
no, that's a good thing.
It's the money part of it was, yeah, I'll charge you $75 to do that.
But you're saying that you you draw things like that for yourself instead of for the eyes of the audience. Well, like, so when you do it for yourself, what do you feel like? What's your thought process?
The reason why it looks so good is not because I'm a traditional art. I literally hone into the specific portions of the picture, and I try to perfect them. I don't normally do a lot of the figure drawing and stuff when it comes down to it. But I would almost consider it I hate using the kind of terms and phrases of a person who's diagnosed with something, but it's just a thing where if I can get into this place for long enough to sit and focus and put this detail in, then I'm in my happy place almost. I don't want to do it in a certain time. I don't want to do it and make it look a certain way.
Yeah.
And like even with my clients now, I treat my clients like, dude, they ordered something from you. That's what if they could have got this from any artist, but they ordered it from you. And I always give a disclaimer, this is going to take some time. I don't have, you know what I mean, this and that and the third.
Right.
But I do that because that's how I focus. I painted Tyler the Creator painting. You haven't seen it?
No. I don't think I have.
Let me see if I can find the still. I have a reel of it. But my client and I, we discussed it, and I was like, I really want to do this, but
hey, Andre, thanks for the follow. How's it going?
Hey, now he talked about it. He's like, take as much time as you want. People say that, and they don't really understand when you tell me that.
Mm-hmm.
I work 50 hours a week. I got kids, you know what I mean? So I'm going to it's going to be weeks that I don't even touch it.
Oh, we got a guy from Italy. Hey.
All right. What's going on, man?
English is so far so good. Thanks for stopping in to view, and thanks for the follow. How's what part of Italy?
Yeah, because I want to go. That's wild getting somebody from Italy. I mean, just like, you know, it's random. It's really complimentary.
Yeah. Milano. Oh.
Milano.
Nice.
Oh man. I guess this is the only good still I have of it at the moment.
Uh-huh.
But
oh, okay, I remember this one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But me and that client, we talked about it, and it took me forever, but he was so happy when I got it, and I was so happy when I finished it, that I was allowed the time to like sit in and correct colors. That's the hard part with painting. It's like I don't always have the same vials and stuff like that, so I got to correct the colors and dive in here because it's so sectional when I work. It's not always just a block in the head and then a block in the eye. It's like I can't work like that. I'm always getting pulled away.
Hey Andre, how's your day going? And time is it for you? I'm curious. Curious, what time is it for you? If you don't mind me asking. I think I'm kind of understanding, like, you know, like you're so free spirited and free willed, like you can't be constrained by a like a time frame or any rules other than your own. So when you're when you're faced with that, there's some added pressure to like I was telling you earlier. Like I think we were kind of both like feeling the same thing earlier. Like, you know, like there's so much pressure put on you when all you really want to do is what you want to do. And I think the thing with that is that keep doing it. When it comes to these clients, right? Let them know, like, hey, I have a way I do things. I can make this for you, but you gotta be able to trust the process. If you tell them at the moment and they're like, I don't think this is gonna work. Okay.
But the thing is like, if I really want to do it, there's not much that I won't do to get it done if I really, really want to do it. But there's no client that's going to be willing to pay me the money to say, I really, really, really want to do it. When I did the Gil Scott Heron picture painting, it was 4 foot by 4 foot. Granted, it was much easier to apply detail into it. I did it in a month.
Wow.
I did it in a month, and I was motivated to do it because of the situation. But I can't always apply that, so it's not even that I'm just so this and that I don't. It kind of is.
Yeah.
But I feel like at the skill level that everybody says that I'm at, I should be able to apply that and do it in a faster pace. This is one right here. It took me about a month to do. I love that one. It was for Black History Month. Want a copy? Not for real. You want a copy? Yeah. I got prints available.
Yeah,
office.
yeah.
But
Because I want to put that in the office for the next time.
I
Well,
no, this is not a problem.
oh, okay.
I was just kind of thinking about like there's a person that I know that looked at it and there was a crunch. It was like and it was like I don't like going that controversial. Somebody asked me to do a rendition of The Last Supper, and I was kind of like, no.
Read everything at the top of that.
All of it?
All of it.
I got 3 different quotes. I'm going to read it now.
Either to yourself or to out loud.
Nobody can do everything, but everybody can do something. I am a black man dedicated to expression of the joy and pride of blackness. The first revolution is when you change your mind. Revolution that happens in your head, nobody will ever. That's the caption on my post.
That's the perfect picture to pull up in this episode.
That's why I read it.
I wanted to read it.
About to say, it's like,
so this one here in the corner.
Nobody
can do everything, but everybody
something.
can do something.
And that's
that
what you was
goes
talking
hand
about.
in hand with the help. As long as you can
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge, that's a start. I am a black man dedicated to expression of the joy and pride of blackness. So you can hold that to yourself, but you said that you were trying to strip yourself of the labels, right? So, well, of this like this right here. You're getting rid of that. You're changing your name to like a You can kind of take that connotation, and then also you can kind of strip the target audience. You say, I am a man dedicated to expression of the pride and joy of art.
That is true.
And then the first revolution is when you change your mind. That's where we're at right now.
Editing, yeah.
You read another one. Oh, the revolution that happens in your head. Is that what you read also?
The revolution that nobody will see. That's what happened in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you just kind of reread that. Wait, you stated what you put in the corner. You read a fourth one that I didn't see.
Oh, the revolution that happens in your head, nobody will ever see that. The first revolution is when you change your mind.
Okay.
So they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
But have you ever listened to a lot of Gil? You know who he is at all? Okay.
Gil what?
Gil Scott Heron.
Okay.
You probably know most famously. Have you ever heard Whitey's on the Moon?
Probably not.
The rebel renegade must stay paid.
I'll have to look him up.
Okay, so now I'm going to show you how you really know him. Might not be such a bad idea if I never went home again. Kanye West late registration when they did Unscannable. Unscannable.
That one's losing me. I think.
Really?
Yeah. I think I heard. I had to look him
This
up.
dude has a huge influence on hip hop, and that's why I did it, because I wanted to bring in one of the guys that a lot of people don't speak of.
Yeah.
But has a huge influence. Because I mean, when I tell you he's everywhere around hip hop, so I wanted to bring him in and then have some of the things that related to us today, which is what you see in his sunglasses. The original picture had a lot of civil rights rallies and Klansmen in it. So I brought it up to news like the revolution will not be televised. So I put the revolution across on a smartphone type of thing. But
that's so dope.
It's a hard subject, and I'm not good at illustrating the hard subjects because I care too much about what people think.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But at the same time, you know, like I know, like I ain't stepping on nobody's toes.
Bro.
No, not about what I'm about to say. Just like literally, as far as my art goes,
yeah,
I'm not stepping on nobody's toes. If I want to put it out, I will, but I'm not going to put it out on somebody else's idea and be like, that's how I feel.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay. So, I mean, if you constantly think in that mindset, you'll never put anything out because, like you said, you care too much about what people think.
Nah, but if I put it out on my own accord, then it's fine.
Right. Okay.
You know, so I did. This doesn't make me feel uncomfortable. And I mentioned real quick that somebody had me wanted me to do a rendition of The Last Supper.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah, if you're not feeling it.
I was in kind of a hellish way because the person in subject wasn't the person that I would want to put on the table.
Okay.
It was Kanye West.
Yeah.
See, and this is coming as a Kanye thing. Like, I'm not even like super religious, but I do go into a certain mindset when I'm putting things on paper. It's just as powerful as words are. What you put down on here and the thought process, the fact that you have to sit here and think that long, is dangerous to kind of do. Call it scary or whatever you want, but just when it comes to like religion, it's like, bro, I believe in that. That's why I'm trying to speak up. You know what I mean? If I'm trying to speak up, why am I trying to write out downward? Why am I? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I have to, I do have to stand firm on that. But I don't really like doing controversy for other people. If it's going to be controversial, I'm gonna do it myself. I may not even like the way the person had seen this picture particularly, but I'm so glad I put it down because that came from my mind. I haven't seen it come from nobody else's.
I get it. Okay.
But it is what it is. I don't know. But if you notice, I haven't dabbled in a lot of controversial stuff though. A lot of what I do is hip hop. And that was the thing I was trying to
yourself.
Yeah. I feel like as far as hip hop goes, and my influence, way that I feel about just the lifestyle in general, I've done a really fine job. But also, I feel like I'm a poser. That's that. Because everybody deals with their struggles, but not like me coming up in the '90s and stuff. Everybody's struggle was closer to the same than mine's was.
But I think that hip hop artists are posers because they all do the same thing. They rap the same stuff.
A lot of people will call Tupac a poser. A lot of people will call Tupac a poser.
That's different.
Is it? Same thing.
We said the same. We said this last time. He wasn't an.
That's what I'm saying. So a lot of people will call him a poser, right?
Right.
So yeah, I would call a lot of hip hop artists posers.
But not you.
I have stayed true to my personal struggle.
Yeah.
But I had a hard time letting people know that I struggled because of where I came from. So it's like, am I really that well an ambassador of hip hop? Is this the thing that I'm asking myself? I don't do the graffiti. Well, the 9 elements I'm not involved in.
You don't have to tap into all of them.
No, but none of them. I dabble. I don't do graffiti. I do spray paint. I barely spray paint.
Well, you paint. You're expressing yourself through art. Is the actual medium for being hip hop?
If I would have to say, I believe you. I believe you. But the way when I was coming up, just kind of molding myself as a person, I wasn't accepted in that realm. I'm still technically not, because I am different, but that's also as different as drill is.
That's more hip hop than anything. Dude,
I know.
The standouts were different.
But it doesn't click. I wanted to make money or do the things that I wanted to do.
That right there, though.
Because if I'm going to draw and paint hip hop, and I can't get hip hop to click here.
But that's the thing.
You know what I mean?
You're trying to get it to click with people who are following the phases, like people who think hip hop now that you're trying to reach to, or that who see that you have good art. They're in the phases of what new hip hop is now.
But I've been doing this for a long time.
Remember? You have. But everyone who sees your art wants you to get familiar with the new stuff. You're trying to keep it hip hop, like hip hop.
But I think we have a very good hip hop scene. For what we got, at least. But it's I don't know. It's hard to really get anybody to take you seriously. This comes back again with my saying that there's doubt of how hard I really try to get to. I don't read books or open up to study enough to say that I can back this up without talking out of my mouth.
So I think one thing that'll help is that, from what I'm understanding, I think pull yourself out of the mentality of being hip hop and just accept the fact that you understand hip hop.
Well, perfect. But when someone comes to look at my art and they see all this hip hop, it's how do you display it and say that at the same time without feeling like
So what was?
adopted this lifestyle just in order to
It's not
capitalize?
lifestyle though. So let me put it. Let me put it like this. What was hip hop about? It wasn't just about doing and spitting and like being out there in the streets. Like, what was hip hop about?
Pop was a lifestyle. Everything that you did, everything that you, the way you felt, the way you reacted, it was all like that. It was everything.
There's a deeper message though that you live by.
Go ahead.
Expressing yourself to the masses, no matter who's giving you criticism. Like when I think hip hop, I think hip hop going all the way back to straight out of Compton.
NWA.
Yeah.
Huh?
Wow. So yeah, NWA. Like, and then even people like Tupac, Biggie. Like, what were they facing, trying to be who they wanted to be?
I don't know, but Tupac
Adversity.
and Biggie were able to put them in position based off of their people in their surroundings.
Right. But also they had to be
can't do that
good.
here.
Like you can have people in your surroundings, but you have to like have something to show. But like we're forgetting how many times that they had to be out there freestyling. We're forgetting how many times that they actually did something in their lives, and then they went to go, "Hey, I'm hip hop, I'm rap." Like you got to think about what they did to make themselves stand out. So like that's what I'm saying. You're at a pinnacle point where you're like, I think I'm about to retire. Like you're at that point right now where you're about to be noticed. Just keep going. And I think it's like you need to strip yourself of these labels like I'm not hip hop but I do hip hop stuff. You're more hip hop than you think you are because you have your own struggle. Whether you talk about it or not, like we said, it's your business. You're able to express your struggle through your art. Now, you don't really have to necessarily stand by a message that people perceive. It's whatever you put on the canvas for you to know. Because no matter what people see, they're going to have their own depiction of what is in front of them.
Let me ask you. I got 5 minutes.
Okay.
How do that I project my struggle through in hip hop through my art?
But when I look at everything that you've done, me personally, because I used to be able to draw and stuff, so I know from experience when people are putting that much effort and they have that much attention to detail, and it's just so like your detail and like, everything you do, like, even something as simple as the bird that you did right now, like the fact that you were able to put something in there, there's something internally that you hold on to that you're able to just like get out by doing something as simple as shading, coloring, and sketching things out. I think there's something to understand about an artist's brain and how it works. But the one thing is that they think differently than most people, as do I. They operate differently as most people, as do I. They're a standout, but they're a standout to be seen. So there's something to know and learn about you that you put on the canvas. And I think when it comes to you putting hip hop, you cater to that lifestyle so much because that is you. You're saying that you don't tag, you don't spray paint, you don't spit. Well, you listen to the lyrics and you break them down and understand them. That's what artists want, is people to understand their lyrics. You're putting a tag out there, that's your art. Put your art out there for people to see because, like, you think about it as a tagger, you put yourself on a clean slate, hoping people will walk by. You put it on a subway train, hope people will see it. But let's be honest, if you're not out there on the streets like that, you're not gonna see, not gonna know it. It's just hearsay.
That's the hard part about it.
You're living the hip hop element through and through. Like social media is just like the subway train, it's just like the wall. You gotta be able to see it.
Right.
Like what was it, MySpace? Or even Facebook. I'll put it on the wall. It was literally called a wall. Like your post was a wall.
You should.
Like the influence is so well versed. Like you don't have to be hip hop. You don't have to live hip hop. Like you are hip hop because you are putting your mind, your artistic style, like your flow is literally in the stroke of your utensil that you're using.
So I love it.
Your flow is in the stroke of your utensil.
Yes, sir. I never thought about me being a evolutionist because at this point in life, clearly we know that hip hop has evolved, and it did get to the point to where if you're about 30 years old at this point, it's almost impossible that you are growing up in a regular side of society and still true to that original 9. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you're not from, those parts or those areas, the hardest parts of where it exploded the most. And that's 100% fair to say. I appreciate. Because I didn't realize that I don't have to be purist, and I am a elitist in that. But
I think to come full circle, to wrap up for the both of us, because I do it too. In order for us to succeed, we have to strip ourselves of the labels that we expect to be thrown upon us.
do you know how many people gave me so many labels that I couldn't understand? Like literally, I still feel like I'm a walking label. Because I was. I mean, yes,
you're a
but
father. You're an artist.
I cared well enough about the negative ones. Yes, everybody's a walking label, I guess.
Yeah.
Human. But
But
I've gotten a lot of curves.
Okay.
A lot of things that I literally have to get over because I said to myself that it wasn't me anymore. I've forgiven myself for being that. But at the same point in time, at the same time, it's like I don't know, you know what I mean? Because I think people kind of still give me the same kind of eye roll. I'm a first class screw up.
Yeah,
let's be real. Like
we all are. That's human nature. Is to screw up.
I don't know. It seems like there's the same type of person that looks.
That question right there, to whose eye, is the one thing you need to really hold true to yourself.
It's always that one person that seems to be a little bit farther than me, trying to get me to go somewhere that tells me that I'm. It usually just looks at me like she just, you know what I mean? It's just kind of that kind of stuff. Is like, can't keep getting this look from these, and what am I doing wrong? And it's not the people that I just want to be around. It's the people that
I think I'll use this quote that I'm configuring in my head, which will probably be able to sum everything up. If you let 1 out of 100 voices steer you in the wrong direction, you were clearly taking advantage of the opportunity and the voice you had of your own. Something like that, but basically saying like you can't let one person's label, idea of you, or negative comment beat those of 100 good ones.
But here's the thing: I feel like it's 100 bad ones,
and that means you have 1,000 good ones. To like kind of patch things
10.
better, 1 to 10. So if you have 100 bad comments, you have 1,000 good ones.
I feel that.
That's what's really helped me because like, dude, Andre from Italy is here with us today.
So, thanks. Hey, you never told me what time it was, did you?
Yeah, I think something may have happened, but I'm glad that we were able to get him to patch in.
Oh man,
like, dude, I never thought I'd ever get anyone from Italy to like be out in the open.
True. That is really cool. Not weird, but like
it's different.
Yeah, it is. And I don't know, man. It's just I don't know. Like Kanye said, picture working so hard that you can't cut through. Mess up your whole life like and it's just like, man, I've been working so hard and I haven't cut through. And I am but it does have to be redirected because the definition of insanity is doing something over and over, just expecting different results.
Yeah. Doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And so, like, I say all this with the understanding in my head that I am never gonna stop.
Yeah.
And I'm so brand new right now. I'm interested in the idea of killing off a lot.
Has there been any time that you've kind of lost the appreciation of your own art?
Yeah, here this past year.
Find a reason to appreciate it again.
I will after I clear out my cue.
Dope.
This is
no. You try to downplay it. I'm
not downplaying it at all. I'm not going to downplay this at all. This is actually
all right. So what do you got?
The reason why I came to you to do something to sketch in
my soul. You captured the exact like feeling that people will feel when they see this bird. People are scared of this bird. It's beautiful, but it's scary because you got that damn eye.
This is like I said. This is leisure. It feels better when it's leisure. And I tried so hard to get this other thing out of it, and it didn't work.
I think,
And so, like I said, it doesn't stop me. It doesn't. I'm not gonna stop trying to do this, but I am gonna stop trying to appease a certain thing. If I'm expecting something from somebody, like everything has to change from this.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of pressure. I'm not like my pipes haven't busted, but they started leaking, right? And I'm calling a plumber to redirect the flow.
So my paint or my sketch, perfect to wrap up this because I want you to understand. Keep going. You feel the world crumbling behind you, but it's the road ahead of you.
Okay.
You're tired from all the, everything, but that's why one leg's up, one leg down. Just gotta keep going. This is mine.
But no, I'm not gonna stop. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna.
good.
I'm going to keep going.
Good
Like just looking at myself. Like retirement doesn't mean I'm gonna stop. People can think that I'm retired. I don't care if they think that. I'd rather them hear me say that I'm retired than to come and bother me. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it huh?
You pulling the whole Jay-Z moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna say what it is. I would rather them think that I'm retired than have them come and bother me, asking me. And I've talked to one person, and if I don't get a response back, I'm not doing the painting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to one more person. If I don't hear anything back, I'm not doing the painting. If I do through these two, my cue is clear to get back to my animation, and I still have to sketch because I don't know an animator that can't sketch at all. You know what I mean? So everything's about to go to the computer, and this and that. I don't have time to.
Yeah.
If people say people want to say, "Oh, I'm a graphic designer," or "Oh, you a painter," you be.
Sounds like you said, just you have to rip some old versions of yourself to open doors for new ones.
Yeah.
It might be your calling, telling you it's time to go ahead and move on to the visual effects.
It is. I don't even care about working for Sony anymore.
Just doing it.
Yeah. Like you can't really like do follicle graphics and stuff like that just to be doing it. I mean, you could, but it's not worth the time unless you're selling it that way. But that's a long road, and it's kind of a broke road. But yeah, man, I still want to show my kids that there are things to do other than getting in trouble. So you can sit at home and be productive, or you can find these hobbies or something, model some cars, some Gundams, anything. But it's important for me. Yeah, I got a couple of
Gundams.
Few, yeah. You don't model? Do you model of them? You model any of them?
I don't. I love Gundam. No. You gotta send me a picture of what you got.
I'm working on painting one. I'll paint you one.
For real?
Yeah.
Are you in the?
Are you on
the Facebook page on Facebook?
The gunplay tricks and tips and builders.
I'm
in that one.
That one. Okay. There's one I actually just joined. I like seeing it.
Yeah, I don't post or anything, but those dudes do some incredible things with their Gundams that I won't really have time to do.
They do work.
But because I used to do model cars when I was a kid.
Okay.
And
I got into this stuff like that, but I never actually finished it because when it came to the painting part, I was like, nope.
Even I tried. I was really really bad at using that enamel paint on those models, and it was what it was. But I still did them.
Yeah.
But I saw online. You know who Currency is? Rapper?
Yeah.
Currency does model cars. He does model hydraulic kits. So he got like these whole tables and spreads where he got little cars set up outside of the little model shop, and he got the cars hitting switches and stuff. Their whole little scenes.
Damn.
And he's a rapper. You know what I mean? It's like that's what I love to see. That's what I think people do. You out of trouble.
Yeah.
It keeps your mind wandering and stuff like that. That's what people have to really do. So in order to combat this sanity that we're seeing in the world nowadays, man.
So it sounds like you have a pretty good idea of what's next, what to do for yourself.
And I'm still. Yep. I do. I have a really good idea of what is to come. I just couldn't tell you to stay tuned because it has nothing to do with y'all. You know what I mean? It's like, sorry. If you asked me to do something as a friend, Mike, I'd never turn you down. It'll just take that long. Now, I don't need to, like, if you wanted to commission painting or anything.
Oh, okay.
No, this is, this picture that you just was talking about here is the reason why I came here, is because I took what was in my head today. I referenced, but, and I was able to and I've been missing.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I'm retired is because never been a time where I set a couple hours aside and did it. So yeah, you bought on my retirement. Thank you. Thank you. Because now I can get back to doing this and really hit y'all and not tell nobody about it because it probably has nothing to do with showing it on Facebook.
So because we're in the middle of a move, the week that we're supposed to convene will have to be pushed. So we'll probably have to come back second week of October.
Okay.
But I will definitely keep you on the loop on when we'll reconvene, so you and when we're coming back. October should be a full circle month. I don't think anything will interrupt the 2 times that we have for next month. But yeah, unfortunately, end of this month.
That's okay. It's my birthday, the end of this month.
I was looking at the line of birthday. Yours is on the
28th. Yep, I'll be 34. 34. Hey man, why are you looking like that when I looked up?
I was looking at the calendar.
Nah, look. He's like, you want to be 31?
She was talking about faces I make last time. She was cracking up. No,
but it was. But okay, I gotta get out of here for real.
Yeah.
My alarm went off 10 minutes ago. But this was a really good episode. We got through a lot of stuff. I really appreciate you helping me clarify some of the verbiage of the things that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because it does sound like one thing, but it's not. And
words is power. You just gotta
words
say
is
it
power. So, but
take us out of here, Trae.
Well, that was Catch and Catch episode number 3 with Mike and Trae. We'll be back at the beginning of October.
Stay tuned on the socials for the next episode to be released. And we'll see you then. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for watching.
Yeah,
Take
buddy.
care.